Country of the hour, I think, is going to be Iran. I see that Iran is going to be probably our best friend in the not too distant future. What we have here are missile ranges. The green is the biggest that they've claimed. We've never actually seen them go that far because it would mean that the missile had to land outside of a country, and we kind of watch for that sort of thing. But you can see how the green line just barely makes it into northern Minnesota, right? Yeah, whatever. Iran is not a conventional threat to us. If they were, it would have been a problem a long time ago. If they were going to develop a nuke, they would have done it under the last administration, which was a little bonkers. But look at their neighborhood. To the east is Pakistan, where we found Osama bin Laden hanging out less than 3 miles from their equivalent of West Point. Anybody want to let the Pakistani government watch the kids? Anybody? There's usually one jackass. Okay. To the north are the Russians. They're a little spunky these days, aren't they? To the east, or to the west, is Iraq. Anybody want to go back? And to the south, we have Saudi Arabia, which is probably the only country out there that really gets it. Why do they get it? Oil. We have protected them in their oil shipments, either directly or indirectly via Bretton Woods, since World War II. That protection is starting to falter because we're losing interest very rapidly, and they see it. They've started pre-positioning cargoes in the Gulf of Mexico because no one's called them for crude in over 2 years. We haven't needed it. And so when you have a country that is as pampered as Saudi Arabia, when your military does not function well outside of air conditioning, you have to come up with a new defense strategy. So what they do is they've combed their country for malcontent young men with a penchant for violence. They strap a bomb on their back, put a Quran in their pocket, get them high on cot, and send them into Syria. We've seen this before. We know where it ends. Al-Qaeda, ISIS. This is the origin of groups like that. It's not a strategy we really care for. But that's what they have to do to survive. That's what they feel they have to do. Now, if you are Iran, and you're looking around this neighborhood, I mean, think about what these 4 countries have in common. Iran hates them all. All the United States has to do to get Iran to scramble this whole region like a bad omelet is not a goddamn thing. It's their neighborhood. They see it as their problem. Now, we can provide some intelligence, we can play sides, we don't have to, but we have the option. But let's assume for the moment that you don't believe it, that the bad blood between us and Iran is too bad. Check out right here, Karg Island at the north end of the Gulf. This is the export point for 95% of Iran's crude. Now think about what that means. Think about what the Persian Gulf and Iran means. In the Bretton Woods era, we used free access to energy to guarantee trade, to build an alliance, to guarantee our security. We're secure. We don't need the alliance anymore. We don't use the trade anymore. We don't need the energy anymore. Persian Gulf is still a pressure point, but it's our pressure point now. It takes an aircraft carrier battle group to keep the Gulf open. It takes a destroyer to close it. And Karg Island doesn't even have a bridge going to it. With one sortie, we can take Iran out of the international economy for years.